Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the next 6 months. This is for June through December of 2025. You have this Trust in the Great Mystery card, and you also have this Hummingbird Spirit that says, be here, be now. So a lot of you could be practicing being present, which is great. The Hummingbird Spirit also kind of represents finally getting to your reward. You know, hummingbirds go on these long journeys to get to their nectar, and the hummingbird can say that you are finally getting to a place where you're getting your nectar after a long journey. And, you know, again, this could be a very good thing for you, Aries. So there could be some rewards coming in. You have the devil, the star, and the moon. This is definitely about needing to believe in yourself more, is what I would say. The star is very good. You know, the star can say that there's almost nothing that you can't accomplish, literally. But the devil could be like stinking thinking, Aries. You know, it could be you thinking that there are things you can't do, or you could be thinking of all the reasons why you shouldn't do something. The moon could be kind of like clouding your judgment in this reading as well. So we start with the devil, and again, the devil is just like an energy vampire. It's something that steals your energy. It's something that is kind of, sucking, anything that makes you feel weak. And the reason I say that as well is because you have the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is also kind of like a card of calling attention to your weaknesses when you should be focusing on your strengths. So I think it would be a good time for you to make sure that you are not calling attention to your weaknesses and that you are focusing on your strengths. And that's exactly what I would do with these cards. And I would look at what you are bound to. You know, these people are stuck to the black box of Saturn here under the devil. The thing about the devil is that those chains come down to like here. They could easily remove those chains from around their necks and set themselves free. Now, you do have Saturn in your sign now. And Saturn will retrograde out, but for a short period of time before next year officially being in your sign. But Saturn is asking you to be more responsible, to take responsibility for things in your life, to take control of your life. And, definitely it's going to be a theme for you for like 3 years. You have the star. The star says there is a lot that you can accomplish. She is pouring this water onto the land here. And this water comes from the pool of universal consciousness. And that water is flowing out into the world. And so what this part of the card represents is that if something is possible for one person, it's possible for you. So a lot of you could be, realizing, or you could be starting to realize that, or you could be seeing an example of something that is possible for you that you didn't think was possible. You could be trying to accomplish something that doesn't seem possible for you in your life as well. The other thing is we go straight to the Ace of Pentacles here. The Ace of Pentacles is like getting an opportunity to do something that you don't think is possible. So I think that some of you, I'm not saying that you're going to be accomplishing the impossible, but I think that you are accomplishing something that you've wanted to accomplish that seems hard. You have the moon. You just don't know how you're going to do it. The whole point of the moon is that it's part of the fool's journey. And the fool, when he enters the moon, he is kind of going down this path of darkness. He's not exactly sure where he is going, but he needs to get to these mountains, and he needs to not get distracted as well. So if you're accomplishing anything or trying to accomplish anything, a lot of you could be working towards these mountains and finding success by doing so. And, I would keep putting the work in to make that happen with the moon card. I would make sure that you're doing things to create success. I would make sure you're doing things to, get yourself into a better position in life. And I feel if you do that, then things will go very well for you. And that's basically what I would do with the moon. The moon kind of represents needing to balance your like domestic side and your wild side as well, with the dog and the wolf, dog and coyote, whichever you prefer. The other thing is, with all this energy in Aries, the moon says to the fool that he has to see his journey through to the end. Because these two pillars here kind of represent a distraction to the fool. But the whole point is that they kind of like tell the fool to not get distracted. They tell, sometimes we get distracted right at the end, right before we're about to accomplish something. And so I feel like the moon is saying, like, don't get distracted when you are very close to the end. The distraction could be that Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is like all the reasons that you can't do something. But the Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. You need to focus on your strengths. Here you go. With the devil, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Exactly what I was saying. It's almost like you are getting the opportunity to finally do something that, it's like you're getting the opportunity to exceed your expectations, or you're getting the opportunity to do something hard in life, or to do something that you didn't think you could do. And obviously that would be great. With the star, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands can represent marriage, and it is a good time for love, as I've said to everyone, but I also think that the Four of Wands could represent your commitment to accomplishing something. The Four of Wands is like making that 110% commitment. The star, she is kind of like just dipping her toes in the water here. And I feel for a lot of you that you need to like dive into the deep end. This is about you really committing to something and really making something happen. So, I feel for a lot of you, this could say that it's time for you to make that 110% commitment to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish at this time. She can't just dip her toes in the water and skim the surface. She has to like go deep. You have that whale spirit, which says trust in the great mystery, but whales dive deep, right? So if you're thinking about making a change or accepting an opportunity, you have to go all the way. The moon basically says the same thing. You have to see something through to the end. So I feel like that Four of Wands is like commitment. You have two cards. With the moon, you have the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. It's like you have everything you need. The King of Wands could be you, Aries. So whenever you show up as yourself, that puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. The King of Pentacles is like wealth, and the King of Pentacles also is kind of like knowledge. Not really, but he has those grapes on his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot represent having a skill that's difficult for most people, but it's like something that you can do well. So the King of Pentacles can say that you have a skill that is difficult for most people that you can do well, and you need to use those skills for success. It's like you might be focusing here on all the reasons you can't do something, but you might not be focusing on like the one reason that you really can't. And maybe it's a skill that you have, or talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have, and I think you need to use your skills. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this unfolding beauty card. It says everything is unfolding as it should. Surrender and live in the unexpected. You have this travel card. It says you're attracting positive movement or travel that will bring your desires to fruition. Yes, you definitely could be attracting good things into your life with these two cards, and that looks great. But this doesn't have to be travel, even though you have the Three of Wands at the end. But again, I think with the moon, with the star, that this might not be travel. It might just be stepping into the unknown. Doing things you've never done before, going places you've never been before, and of course that could be a good thing. You have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. The Seven of Cups is about being spoiled for choice. He has all these options in front of him with these cups, and sometimes I feel like he just needs to pick one of those cups and make it happen. So he is kind of like wondering what will happen if he goes on a journey, but he is thinking about the good things and bad things that would happen. He's just not doing anything about it. And, that is kind of like the problem with the Seven of Cups, is he's just imagining. He's not taking action, so he's never going to find out. And the Seven of Cups kind of says, if you are imagining something, or if you're dreaming about an opportunity or something you want to create, it's like you have to go and create it. You can't just keep, dreaming about it and hoping that something's magically going to happen. You have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. So the Five of Pentacles, again, represents needing to make sure that you're not calling attention to your weaknesses, that you are focusing on your strengths. I feel like this, some of you, it's like, I get this feeling of like feeling cheated by life for some of you, where it's like maybe you feel like you have been cheated out of some things. But I feel like that's also about to change. It's like you feel like certain things haven't been given to you, or maybe that's not the right word to use here, Aries, but it's like there's maybe some things that you see other people getting that you don't have, and I feel like you need to realize that you are being led in a better direction. And I also feel like you need to kind of like focus on your strengths to make something happen in your life. It's like clear to me that you are getting a good solid opportunity here with the Ace of Pentacles, so I would be taking advantage of those opportunities. You have the Four Swords. Four Swords can represent resting, relaxing, recovering. So I feel for a lot of you that this could be you kind of like taking a break, or you have been taking a break. He is hoping and praying for blessings. There's a person up here who's blessing another person. And so a lot of you could be getting some blessings in your life with the Four Swords, or there could be more blessings coming in for you at this time, which I think would be great. For some reason, I also have like good news popping into my head with this Four Swords. So I think for some of you that this could be some blessings that you are receiving that you've been kind of like hoping for. And, if you have been hoping and praying for something, especially like an opportunity, it's like that opportunity is coming in. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Fool. Everybody's had the Fool, basically. Not everybody, but almost. And, again, we have Neptune and Saturn and Aries now. So I think a lot of people could be getting bigger opportunities or better opportunities to do and work on the things that they want to work on. And, it's just that simple. There's really not much to say. We're in a time of initiation. We're in a time of getting started on things. So a lot of you could be getting started on, things that you've been hoping to get started on, like projects, business ideas, stuff like that. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Magician. The Magician is about manifestation, of course. So a lot of you could be manifesting things. Now, the Magician is connected to the Ace of Pentacles twice here. And so you clearly are manifesting some sort of important opportunity. The thing about the Ace of Pentacles is that, the Ace of Pentacles just represents potential. So sometimes when we get an Ace of Pentacles opportunity, we don't accept it because it's just potential, which potential means nothing. Potential means what we put into something. And so I think for a lot of you, this could be saying that there's an opportunity that has a lot of potential, but you have to accept it into your life. The other thing about the Magician here is that we have to become the type of person that can make the opportunity a success. The Magician has the snake here, which is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. So it's like sometimes we have to be very different, or we have to change in some way to make something work. And that's kind of what I feel for you, is that there might be some big changes that you really have to make here with the Ace of Pentacles to make something successful. And I feel if you do that, you will be successful, but it's like you have to make those changes and, to yourself. Like you have to be the type of person that can make this opportunity a success. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, amazing. Again, these have been very positive readings. I said in the 2025 readings that, this second half of the year would be much more positive than the first half, and I pretty much haven't been wrong. So there's definitely a lot of success that could be coming in for you. I think Aries is focused on permanent change. You're born right next to Taurus, or, before Taurus, and, this is a very Taurus energy. And yes, I understand that you are not a Taurus, but you're born so close to Taurus that you are probably feeling the same energies. And so you are probably feeling like you want to build things in life that are more permanent or that are going to last longer. You're probably wanting to build and leave a legacy. And a lot of you could be doing that. But this is amazing for money. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, this is amazing. You have this thriving card and this purification card. So yes, you are probably going to be thriving in the near future. A lot of you could be purifying your beliefs, which would make sense with that devil. This would also kind of make sense because we had that eclipse in Virgo, and that eclipse in Virgo, I think, definitely could be making people, heal in some way. We also have Chiron and Aries still, which could be making you heal just in general. And so, if you need time for healing, or if you're thinking about healing from anything, a lot of you could just be going through a healing. You have the Nine of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Hermit. The Nine of Wands says don't give up. Keep pushing towards whatever you're working towards. And so I think a lot of you could be pushing towards something or creating something with the Nine of Wands that you have thought about building in the past. I don't really feel this is like a second chance, but it's kind of like you are taking another chance at something, is the feeling I get off of this Nine of Wands. So it could be anything. It could be love, business, money, spirituality, whatever. But it's almost like saying to me that you're trying something again. With the Star here and the Nine of Wands, I would definitely say Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So we have to experiment, right? We have to put the work in and try a bunch of different things to make something successful. And that's what I would do with the Nine of Wands, is I would be, don't be afraid to experiment, try new things, do things differently, all that other good stuff with that card. You have the Ace of Pentacles again, so there could be an opportunity coming in for you. Again, this could be an opportunity that just has potential. So we have to look at those opportunities that just have potential and see what we can do with them. And, again, we have to nurture them. There's this garden right at the front of the card, and the garden on the Ace of Pentacles basically says we have to treat this seed as if it is a garden. We have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to really nurture things into existence, or put the work into growing something that you've been trying to grow. And I think if you do that, things will go very well for you. So, don't be afraid to nurture things into existence with the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Hermit. I think it's your time to shine, Aries. I mean, Saturn in your sign. Saturn in your own sign can be very challenging, but it's not like really bad. It just wants you to be more responsible. It wants you to shine in a lot of ways. So, you have the star in your lantern here. We have the star in this reading. It's almost like this reading is saying you need to commit to your star vision. The star is your North Star, your guiding light, that one thing that you will follow to accomplish, like, that one thing that you want to work towards in life. And, I think working towards that, or working towards a North Star, will be very beneficial for you. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Lovers here. Yeah, everybody's had love. So, like I said, I think the second half of the year is very good for love connections. You definitely could be attracting like a new love connection into your life, or a better love connection into your life. So if you want love, it's here. It's showing up. So there definitely could be a better love connection with the Lovers. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant. Could be marriage. Obviously, you don't have to marry this person right now, but if you are attracting love, could be a person you'll marry in the future. The Hierophant has come up a lot in these readings as well. I don't know why, really. I would say that Neptune and Aries can be about beliefs in some ways, because Neptune and Aries is like looking for a savior. So people will be, during Neptune and Aries, will be looking for a person who has all the answers. The trick with Neptune and Aries is to realize that you are the person that has the answers, no one else does. So I think that in a lot of ways, this could be about beliefs or belief systems, and it could be about you adopting your own belief systems. A lot of you could be taking something to the next level as well. He represents initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. So a lot of you could be mastering your craft as well in work or business, and that could be leading to more success. With the Hermit, you have the Three of Wands, which you have twice. Yes, you have to be bigger and better than ever here, Aries, is kind of what this is saying to me. I feel like this is saying that you need to be bigger and better than ever before. Maybe that's like the best way to put it. It's like you are putting yourself out there in a whole new way. You are kind of becoming the new Aries, or I don't even know what to call it, but I would be putting yourself out there more, taking bigger risks, getting more attention, doing things to get more attention. All of that is going to lead to more success. I would also be traveling into the unknown. This card can represent your ships coming in, which definitely could be true for you, but, these ships are pointing out of the harbor, so they can represent going to a place you've never been before. And if you do that, you could find a lot of success, so don't be afraid to, travel into the unknown. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this niche card. It says, with your unique experiences and fresh perspectives, you would do very well specializing in a niche. You have this leader card. You have, as a born leader, you can truly bring out the best in others, guiding them and inspiring them. I mean, it's your time to shine, kind of. Saturn, Neptune in your sign. So anything you can do to shine would be a good idea with these cards, taking the lead. If you have a business, you could be making your business more specific with that niche or niche card, however the hell you say it, I don't care. But, again, you could be becoming more specific, or becoming a specialist in something that you do, and obviously that would be a good thing with that card. You have the Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands, and the Fool. The Four of Pentacles is a card of financial stability in the good stuff. So you could be doing things to make yourself more financially stable, or you could be doing things to increase your financial stability in some way. And, that's definitely what I would be doing with this card. I think it would be a good time for you to do that. I think it would be a good time for you to, work on your financial stability, or do things to feel more financially stable with the Four of Pentacles. I also think that, again, normally this card can represent holding on too tightly to the past, but in the good stuff, again, it would just say you're focused on stability. You have the Three of Wands. I think this is your most important card here, really. Putting yourself out there in a bigger, better way. Taking bigger chances in your life would be important. The star wants you to shine, so that could include putting yourself in the public eye. It could include doing taking the risk of criticism, right? Which with Pluto and Aquarius, that is the number one risk we can all be taking right now, is the risk of public criticism, the risk of saying something and being wrong, the risk of doing something and people criticizing us. All that kind of comes up here. So I think a lot of you could be kind of taking a risk with the Three of Wands, but I would also say that I think the risk will be worth it. So don't be afraid to take those risks. You have the Fool. The Fool wants you to take a leap of faith in a new direction. Like I said, everybody's had the Fool pretty much. With all the Aries energy, it makes perfect sense to me that people are being asked to go on new journeys. I think you are a little bit over prepared. He has this tiny little sack on his back here, and he's about to go through the whole entire major arcana. So the card itself says he has everything he needs right here. And, if you're thinking about starting something, you are probably more ready than you realize with that card. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is usually about being stuck in a stalemate. But coming up in the good stuff, this would kind of say that you are no longer stuck. Now, you have the Moon card, and the Moon can represent needing to release your emotional armor. She is trying to protect her heart on the Two of Swords. But sometimes we can be too protective. Sometimes we can protect ourselves so much that we prevent opportunities from coming into our lives, if I can get that word out today. But sometimes we protect ourselves too much. And so the Two of Swords sometimes says we have to put the swords down, and we have to learn to rely on our intuition. She has this blindfold on over her eyes, and the blindfold represents trusting your intuition. So I think that for some of you, this could say that you are finally trusting your intuition more, or you're kind of letting your guard down and you're allowing your intuition to guide you, because if you do that, then you won't get hurt. And, I think that's a great thing. With the Three of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is about letting go of something you no longer enjoy. The story of the card is that he's lost his taste for wine here, but he is sad because he no longer enjoys wine, and he wants to. But if he turns around, he will see these two cups in this bridge in this castle, which will lead him to something better. So there could be something much, much better coming in for you with the Two of Cups, if you allow it to come in for you. And, again, it's coming up in the good stuff, which is a good thing. You could be releasing things that no longer serve you, or you could just be releasing something that you used to enjoy that is holding you back. It could be a behavior or a habit or a belief system with the devil and the Hierophant showing up in this reading. And so, I don't know, it just kind of feels like to me like you're letting go of those things that have been holding you back. With the Fool, you have the Knight of Swords. Off to the races here, Aries. This is like blasting off. So if things have been slow, or if things have not really been progressing for you very quickly, the Knight of Swords and the good stuff would definitely be quick action, things happening for you quickly, and all that other good stuff. You have this pin card. It says new job or career. A lot of you, this has come up for you in readings before, that some of you could be making work changes or business changes. Obviously with the Ten of Pentacles, this would be a very positive business change that's coming in for you. So, whatever changes you're making are going to be positive. I think the changes could be you putting yourself out there in a bigger way. I'm pretty sure that I've been saying to you in all these readings that, really it's about Aries leveling up. So you could be doing things to get to the next level, or to, push your business to the next level, or get your business to the next level. And I think that would be great with this card. You have this Grasshopper Spirit. It says situation in the balance that requires careful handling. Yes, some of you could be kind of like, the Moon, the Fool. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think that if you're starting anything new, or if you're building something new, that kind of like taking your time, allowing things to happen, moving forward in any way that you can, all that stuff is going to be very good for you. So, I would be just making sure to balance things out. I think that it's also saying remove the negativity from your life so that you can get things done. You have this Harp card. It says great happiness on it. Yeah, there could be a lot of happiness. I mean, it seems to be a very happy time. You have this Purification card with the sunflower on it, the star. Plus, this next 6 months just seems like a happier time for people. So I think a lot of people could just be feeling more happy, and that's a good thing. You have this Lion card. It says time to act. I mean, of course it is. Saturn in your sign, and plus everything else going on. So anything you're thinking about taking action on, I would take action. I would get moving on those things that you're wanting to create, do, be, or have. And I would be putting yourself out there in a bigger and a better way, like I already said, because that's where your success is going to come from. And I think it's time. This is like the time where the rubber meets the road for Aries, and, just action is good. You have the Sun card. It says happiness and well-being, so more happiness coming up for you, Aries. Pretty straightforward reading. Again, there's no reason to overcomplicate it. So I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the next 6 months.